welcome to the Hollywood Freak Show. I'm your host, Demon Dave, alongside Sammy Frickin' Johnson. Before we begin the topics today, I want to do a shout out to 501st Channel. He's going to be having a live stream today on Battlefront 2. Don't miss it. He's an awesome channel, Battlefront. Okay? 501st Channel. I had to do a little shout out there. Okay, thank you. Now,
I want to shout out to Paulie, who's been real cool with the comments. We like the feedback. We need some more. We're gonna give shout outs to all the people that we can within the next installments, but today is for Paulie.
yo, it's all about Paulie. Paulie has been a long-time supporter of Demon Dave, and I want to do a definite shout out to Paulie. I know you're out there. Demon Dave's coming. Just not the right time, brother. Already. So, the topic for today's show is actually the Attitude Era. Okay? I mean, that's everybody's favorite time period in professional wrestling was the Attitude Era.
Absolutely.
I mean, to me, Attitude Era spoke Stone Cold Steve Austin, Triple H, matches like that. What does the Attitude Era mean to you?
Attitude Era to me. The Attitude Era actually had it all. They had the storylines, they had the characters, they had just about anything that a wrestling federation could need. They had storytellers, they had writers, producers. Everything was clicking at that time in the WWF or WWE/WWE. It's one of my favorites, if not the favorite. I wish WWE now would go back to that format. They would draw a lot more of the younger generation and definitely keep the older generations a little more interested. And Vince McMahon was involved too. I really enjoyed that. That proved that he was really into his employees, and he wanted to be a part of it because it was that big. But definitely the Attitude Era is number one in my book also.
To tell you the truth, that was an era where Vince McMahon portrayed, and he participated in a lot of storylines, and he did a lot of TV time back in that day. He was only in his 50s. Okay?
Now look at him.
Nowadays, he is a skeleton.
Yeah.
Compared to his former self, and unfortunately, I think he's senile.
He might be.
He's a little bit senile, but I'm not going to say he's... I think the steroids that he used to use have gotten to his head. Because he does not make the best business decisions that he could make during that kind of an era. I mean, okay, let me take this off for a minute. He does not make the best business decisions when it comes to, especially nowadays. Because nowadays, you have a lot of good superstars. And if you want to take the Attitude Era into nowadays professional wrestling, you got to have a lot of faith in the superstars. Because back in the Attitude Era, he gave faith to wrestlers such as Stone Cold Steve Austin, to Triple H, to Kane, The Undertaker, Kurt Angle. I mean, a lot of big names that he gave a lot of faith into doing their own storylines, doing their own matches. You know what I mean?
There was more star power. That's
yes.
What it is. And they all knew how to wrestle, and they know how to sell their stories. The star power was just out of control. There was more than just 5 and 6 wrestlers at that time. Even tag team divisions had a lot of star power. Not many tag teams though. That was the problem. They had to form a lot of tag teams from their main roster, their main superstars, like Rock and Mankind and Undertaker, Kane. Like they had enough star power to put the tag team division together, but it wasn't as interesting as it is now. There's a lot more tag teams there is now. But yeah,
just not as devastating
Yeah.
as the ones back then. I mean, I don't know about you, but the tag teams that stand out to me in the Attitude Era would probably be the Brothers of Destruction or the Two-Man Power Trip.
Yeah. That was probably the main tag. That was the tag team division right there. They had they had like the Nasty Boys. They had the Rockers back then, but it just wasn't a time for tag teams at that point. It was all about the solo star power, and that carried it for a long, long time.
I mean, unfortunately, the only tag team we had, I can't say unfortunate in this part, is because the tag team, my favorite tag team of that era is probably Edge and Christian, because they were the comedy relief of the Attitude Era when it comes to 5-second photography. You know what I mean? For thank you. You can. I mean, for the benefit of 5-second photography. Okay, Edge and Christian were probably the most laughable out of all the tag teams. I mean, you had Edge and Christian, you had the Dudley Boys.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, them two had an awesome feud.
Don't forget about the Hardys and Edge and Christian.
Oh, you cannot forget about the Hardy Boys.
Those are the ones that were the innovators of the TLC match.
Team Extreme.
And there was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They were the TLC of the WWE.
Exactly. And when it comes to hardcore matches, which is people want to see people put everything on the line, especially when it comes to the tag team championships. And I'm sorry, back then the tag team championships meant a little bit more than they do now.
Yeah.
I mean, sadly, but that's just the way it is. I mean, back then the tag team championships, they meant a lot, but not as meant as the World Wrestling Federation Championship, the whole WWF title that used to be meaning something. I mean, WWE, WWF, still the same damn thing. I mean, but to me, I'm always going to see the WWF in its core as just a better time to be a professional wrestling fan.
Absolutely.
Because of the storylines that we went through, the feuds, the story writing. You know what I mean? Because I think Vince Russo was the story writing back then.
I think so.
Along with Pritchard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, I'm not saying Pritchard is a bad storyline writer now, but you can't forget about Doc Hendricks either. Okay, the fabulous Freebird dude. Okay, the dude doing the moonwalk. I know you all. I mean, a lot of you younger kids probably do not know a damn thing what I'm talking about. But I know a lot of you older wrestlers, you know who. Okay, you know who he is. So yeah, as you can tell, it's getting dark out.
Yeah. It is a special edition, though.
Yes.
We didn't want to forget about the fans.
Exactly. Actually, you want to know what I'm actually going to do, buddy?
What?
I'm actually going to leave you. I'm going to have you tell what your favorite matches is of the Attitude Era, where I'm going to go and fix this lighting predicament.
All right.
I'll be right back.
All right. I'll see you when you get back. Okay. So, my favorite match. That's a tough one. There's a lot of them. I think my all-time favorite was probably The Undertaker and Mankind. Yeah, without a doubt. I couldn't believe that he threw his ass off that cage, to be honest with you. And he survived. No matter, he could have been the best choreographer, stuntman there is in the world. That person would not be getting up like he did and continue wrestling and then get thrown through this. He got thrown through the top, and literally it looked like his body was gonna just melt, his bones powder inside of his body. It's just, that match was probably my favorite match of that time. But now Wally's gone. since it's a special edition, I'm going to talk a little bit about movies. So I know you guys love movies. But I'm not going to be long because he'll be back. Wrestling is wrestling. I want to know what you guys think of the movie Fight Club. That probably is one of my favorites of all time. It's just a twist like I've never seen in any other movie ever that I've ever seen. Nowadays they have some movies that have quite the twist to them. But when I first saw that one, that put me on to David Fincher. He's probably one of my favorite directors of all time also. But I think Hollywood's coming back, so we're getting ready to get back to it. Let me give a shout out to my man Seth Rollins. Busted Dominic Mysterio's ass last week, or this week actually, Monday. That's going to be a good match. I can't wait for it. So Hollywood is back. He fixed a little bit of the lighting, give us a little bit more light on the subject.
Hello, everybody.
There he is.
Trying to make everything more copacetic.
There
Make
he
sure
is.
you want to... Wow, didn't really fix anything. There's a damn light over there. Okay, so anyways.
So back to the Attitude Era.
Attitude Era. Yes, the Attitude Era meant... I mean, okay, let's put it this way. When it comes to the WWF WWE Championship, the Attitude Era definitely spoke volumes about what the WWF WWE Championship means, because it means about being the top guy in the industry. It means
Keeping yourself
if
there.
you are in the WWE, the WWF title picture, okay, this awesome thing right here, this shiny little object that my friend is wearing beautifully on his shoulder, okay, meaning it's just not a shiny little object. It means you're the top guy in the industry, and it means that you will defend that title 24/7 a day. I mean 24/7 no matter what.
Anytime anybody challenges.
Exactly. Okay, I don't mean to break kayfabe and sit there and say, you know what I mean, because do you remember CM Punk?
I do remember CM Punk. So
CM Punk.
Yeah.
Okay, how can you not remember CM Punk?
Absolutely.
CM Punk wanted to defend that title every single match that he had on Monday Night Raw.
Mm-hmm.
That, to me, is what a WWF champion should do. I mean, WWF, WWE, no matter what, the title should be on the line every single match that he has.
Yeah.
That would make him go to the highest level which he could possibly do.
And make others want that title.
Exactly. That is exactly what CM Punk stood for. That's exactly what CM Punk was going for when he had that title reign.
Yeah.
So he made it evident every single time. Excuse that.
It happens.
It happens.
Yeah.
Anyways, no matter when he defended that title, whether it was against a big guy or whether it was against Daniel Bryan, you know what I mean? Talking about of his era, you know what I mean? But when you want to go to the Attitude Era, technical wrestlers, I think the best technical wrestler of the Attitude Era had to have been, except Kurt Angle kind of goes from the Attitude Era to the Ruthless Aggression Era.
Yeah. That's when he arrived. Kurt Angle.
He showed up in the ass end.
Yeah.
Of the Attitude Era.
Yeah, he would have been good for the Attitude Era. He was a little bit. What's the word? He was a little too candy when he first got there. I mean, he was Olympic champion and he had the 3 eyes, which was really that's actually really cool. But he was just too goofy for the Attitude Era. They would have ate him
He
up.
won the gold medal with a broken frickin' neck,
Now
people.
that's the Attitude Era, Kurt Angle. But when he first came in, he was a little candy, but he really made a huge name for himself, and he actually became a Hall of Famer, which I always knew he was going to. You could just tell he has that charisma. He had the wrestling skills, and that's what people want to see also. Not just the wrestling, but a wrestler that actually came from scholastic and academic wrestling and intertwined that with the WWE, and he really did. He did great. There's no hands down. You can't say anything about Kurt Angle. He's one of the best.
Okay, I don't mean to interrupt. I got a fantastic idea. I know you guys can't see nothing but shadows of our faces. Okay? Sammy frickin' Johnson and Hollywood Dim Dave are gonna move over there where the light is, so you guys can actually see our faces.
Yeah.
Okay? Because this is not a dark episode.
Yeah.
Okay?
And we don't have much time, so
Bear
we're
with
gonna
us.
give you the best that we
Exactly. So this is only going to be a couple minutes longer, so bear with us.
can. Hold on.
Still here, people. So stay with us. There we go. You can see me a lot better, right? I know you can, because I can see myself a lot better. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. Sammy frickin' Johnson right there. Thank you very much. You can actually see his face again.
There you go.
Okay, so as you were saying, Kurt frickin' Angle came in after the Attitude Era. He came at the ass end because I know he won the World Wrestling Federation Championship back in his day, which was a glorious win. I gotta say the least, but it just did not fit his character. He was too candy coated back then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? His character didn't really shine until after he went against Edge.
Mm-hmm.
The hair versus hair match when he had his hair shaved, and he ended up
That was good.
he ended up having to have his hair shaved and wear that stupid wrestling thing that he always wore to cover it up. Okay, I mean by then WWE was like, okay, we are now WWE. They came out with a new championship. You know what I mean? Which was which you have two versions of, because you have the World Wrestling Federation Undisputed Championship, okay, which did not last long, which I would love to own that title, which I am going to get, by the way, people, which I will proudly do a review when I do get that belt. But yeah, you have that belt, the WWF version, which is very rare, and then you have the WWE Undisputed belt, which by the time anybody's seen that belt, it was around the waist of Triple H. Thank you very much. Okay, I don't know about you. Okay, I don't mean to go backstepping here. I mean, I would love to see a match between Kurt Angle in his prime versus Bret the Hitman Hart.
Oh gosh.
Who would you say would win that match?
Bret Hart.
You think Bret Hart would take Kurt Angle?
Absolutely.
You know,
they're both submission specialists. But I guess I'm a little biased, and I'm a Bret Hart fan for life. And regardless, I think Bret Hart would take it. He just was, oh my gosh, ugly technical, and he could destroy pretty much anybody if it was based on wrestling alone. Bret Hart would have been champion a lot longer and a lot more times than 4.
to tell you the truth, he had the awesomeness of actually training in the good old Stu Hart's dungeon back in the day. A lot of you kids nowadays, you don't know what the dungeon is.
Yeah, you don't
know what the
dungeon is.
We know what the dungeon is. The last person to ever actually be trained in the dungeon, she's actually a legend now. Okay? Natalia.
Yeah.
She is the daughter of
Jim Neidhart.
Jim the Anvil Neidhart. Okay? She's the last actual wrestler to actually train inside of the actual infamous dungeon.
Yeah.
Which is sad. You know what I mean? This is really sad. But
Yeah.
to tell you the truth, it's a part of history. I love it no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
So, to tell you the truth, that concludes our series. Oh, okay, no, actually, the Attitude Era is going to be the first in the series that we're going to do. I want you guys to tell what series on professional wrestling you want us to do next down below in the comment section below. Okay, people?
Don't forget.
Okay, don't forget. Also,
It's important.
hit that like button, okay? Choke slam that like button, actually, because it helps the channel.
Like or spike, either way, good or bad, we need your input, we need your feedback, and so we can make this show a lot better for you guys that enjoy it.
Exactly. Because I don't know about you. I mean, me, I love doing this show. I don't know about you.
I love this show.
Thank you.
I actually love the comments, and it's just really inspires me to want to do more, because in these crazy times in the world, people don't have much to do. So we're just trying to do something that we can to help everybody get through the day and get past everything that's all bullshit. So basically, we're going to keep going and keep doing this until you guys tell us to stop.
Exactly. And I'm going to tell you one thing right now. Even though when you guys tell us to stop, I am not going to stop, because I'm Hollywood here. I'm going to shove it down your throats, because that's what professional wrestling is. I'm from the Attitude Era. Okay, I actually wrestled during the Attitude Era back in the day. Probably not in the WWF, because I know I didn't wrestle in the WWF, but I wrestled in a smaller organization back then. Okay, that was when the alcohol-fueled version of Demon Dave actually wrestled in a hockey mask. Okay.
Love alcohol.
Oh, thank you. Alcohol fueled. Okay. Okay. Say what you just said again.
We gotta love alcohol.
Oh, see, I'm sorry. Alcohol is definitely. I mean, if you're a wrestling fan, alcohol is right there, along with a championship.
Yeah, it goes the Holy Bible, God, and then alcohol. That's the next step.
Fuel. Okay. Alcohol fuel. Okay. I'd like to thank you all. I'd like to thank you. Hollywood Demon Dave likes to thank you.
I would love to thank you for this Thursday's special edition of the Hollywood Freak Show.
Yes. I'd like to thank you for hanging in there through the dark times, of course, because the sky just gave out. And now I would like to thank everybody for tuning in for this special edition of the Hollywood Freak Show. Don't worry. I know this is a Star Wars channel. It is only just begun, because I am well prepared to bring Star Wars content to you. May the Force be with you on that note. So anyways, Hollywood Demon Dave back. Don't mean to channel the Emperor, but I'm telling you.
It's hard not to.
Okay.
Got to.
Okay, this is the last moment.
Okay.
What is your favorite Star Wars movie?
Return of the Jedi. Sorry, I'm an old guy. Return of the Jedi. Can't beat it.
There's about a 2-year difference between the two. Okay. 2-year difference, and he's saying he's an old guy. Okay, I'm not gonna say no, I'm a kidult. Okay, kid-dolt. Okay, 2-year difference between the. Okay, my favorite movie of all time happens to be Revenge of the Sith. I know you're old and all.
That's a spectacular one.
Okay, I know you're old and all.
Yeah, I can't.
But
I can't
the
say
story's
that's not
there.
good.
Okay, you got to go with Anakin. I did.
Yeah.
Come on,
Yeah.
channel. Thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, and
It is what it
you.
is.
I know Luke is all the hunky dory, whatever, but I just do not like what Disney portrayed Luke Skywalker.
Mm.
Have you seen any of the newer Disney Star Wars?
I haven't, because I knew they were gonna rip the story to shreds. So I basically stayed away from Disney. I love their
Smart
Pixar.
man.
Their Pixar animations are great, though.
They don't know how to do, actual lightsaber duels. Okay,
No.
They don't understand how to actually portray Star Wars characters. Okay,
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm not a Rey fan. Okay, Rey sucks.
Yeah, the kids just like sticks that glow.
I know exactly. You know what I mean? The sticks that glow. But anyways, yeah. Okay, I had to add Star Wars in there. This is a Star Wars channel. Lord Vader Production proudly brings to you the ending of this fantastic show called the Hollywood Freak Show.
Absolutely.
Okay, so Thank you for tuning in. Thank you, and tell me. Okay, everything happens down in the comment section below, people. Below, okay?
Absolutely.
Everything. The bad, the good, whatever. Okay?
Like or spike.
Thank you. Like or spike. Thank you. Have an awesome day. Don't forget to choke slam that subscribe button. Okay? Tombstone that like button. Thank you very much. Have an awesome night.
Spectacular.
Enjoy the rest of your night. Hollywood, Demon Dave, and Sammy frickin' Johnson like to wish you the best night possible.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Enjoy. Good night.